Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It's Wednesday, March 26th, 2025. So today we had a reversal from yesterday's smaller candle, possible evening star. We got that. All right. That was our secondary scenario. Now what? Okay. First of all, I want to get this out because if you're frightened about this move, just to let you know, this initial impulse wave, if this move is over and we continue for a third wave, this will be a devastating move. And we're talking, if I measured this out, probably straight down to this 4,800 or even 4,600 zone if this is a direct sell-off, okay? I don't think this correction's over, and I'm going to show you in this video what this could turn out looking like. I have two scenarios that this could end up looking like before we continue heading higher before we head lower. This is a bear market. If you're looking for a bull market, by the way, check out the cannabis video that I just sent out, okay, this morning. That we're looking for a brand new bull market. We have historic highs here on the market, on the S&P. Well, in cannabis, I think we're at a historic low, and we're at that trend line bottom right now. Okay, and it's very typical for commodities to go into a bull market when you have a 2000, 2008 style market that moves sideways for over a decade. Okay, so I know they're big swings, but the market didn't do anything for quite some time after 2000. So let's jump into it. Let's get right down to business. We're beginning this move up here. We broke out from a 10-day range. The range started off here at about 5,700. I think that price is going to hold at that 5,700. If it goes lower, then we have another situation. So I'll show you that on SPY. For now, let's look at the McClellan oscillator. Very important. Still in bullish territory. Testing that zero line. Consolidating sideways. Okay, I'm looking for this to get into the overbought territory. We talked about this extensively yesterday. So we're going to get through this. I want to make sure these videos are just a little bit shorter. We have a bullish crossover here. I don't know if you could see that in the blue. I might change that so you can see that a little bit better. I was watching it on my TV and I could hardly see the blue there. So let me know in the comments if you ever see anything like that. Just let me know. Okay, so right now we're rejecting off of the 200 moving average, but we're holding on to the 20 and the 8 EMA. Okay, this is still in a bullish position, have a bullish crossover. Now, with corrections, this could be, all of this could be an A. And again, I'll show you this on a different, and then we're getting the B now, and then we can see a C higher. But what that would do, that would take up plenty of time. And I don't think time is on our side to get up here to these ranges that I was talking about. Okay, look in the RSI. Did not make it to that 70. We're not overbought. Still cycling our way up. Looking at the slow stow, still cycling up. We haven't curled over. Nothing that says a sign of this move is over to the upside. Okay, no indicators yet. DMARC's continuing its count. We're on a 3 count. Like I said, it could go up to a 9 count exhaustion before our reversal. Awesome oscillator, still green. Getting more green, heading up to the zero line, looking for a bullish crossover. Now let's go over to SPY, and we can talk about the last two indicators and structure here. So here's the money flow index. I think this is going to cycle higher. Perhaps we get a downtrend line here, but we're not even at the downtrend line. So I think this continues to go higher. I think it gets overbought. The Bollinger Band setup, and same thing, we're holding on to that middle range. We're just in this bullish posture right now. Okay, there's nothing negative about this in the near term. in this near term. And on the 65, I know it looks like a bear flag still. So I'm going to be compassionate for those bears that want that to break down as a bear flag. But if it does, then we're gonna have to switch quick because it's going to be very, very bearish. Let's change the boards here. Okay, with this time and price, we have today clearly as a top with this 26. We're going to take that off. And it could be a bottom too. I mean, with such a big move like that, we'll see how this ends up. But really, we want to see where price goes into these clusters. I know you can see cluster after cluster after cluster, and that's what we're looking for. So we have 328 going on Friday, and then after that, Monday, Tuesday zone here. So I want to see where price is at when we get to these zones. Otherwise, if this starts to... So here's what we can look at a little bit closer. First of all, we only made it to the 382 for a bounce. That's a very shallow bounce. And this isn't the 382 that I was talking about on the 65 minute. They came up as our bull bear line about, I want to say it's 568 or so. This is the 382 from top to bottom. So if this C is in, this is going to be a devastating move. Now, the two ways that I was looking at it, this is an A, B, and then you start to get your minute level 1, 2, and that's what we talked about yesterday. 3, we have GDP tomorrow. So, as long as 3 is not the shortest wave, we can easily get this 1 could be the longest. We have 2. 3 could bring us into 50 or 60% retracement, and then get a wave 4, and then a 5. Okay, doesn't have to go that deep. I'm just keeping that in mind. I think we're likely to make it to 590. So the other way to look at it, if we get a deeper retracement, if we close this gap today or tomorrow, we could look at this as being an A, B, C for a larger degree A. The B come down further, maybe into our Friday time zone, time relationship. And so if price is lower, going into there, that's going to be a buy for me. And then we'll look for C to take probably longer to go higher into a little bit later than maybe a week or two after that. So this is going to, if this is the case, it's going to take a lot more time than anticipated. But for now, we remain bullish, and we'll look for our top between Friday going into next week into Tuesday or so. Now, this is the bigger picture. I'll post above our roadmap for bear market 2025. I think we go into 2026, possibly the June area. That will be our cycle low. So this is going to be pretty big correction going into next year. About 18 months is average. So that's where that comes from. We talk about that more in the video. So check that out above. Let's go to QQQ. The Qs, we're rejecting off of the 200 moving average as well, but we're coming right into support. So let's see if this holds here. Otherwise, we have a little bit lower where the breakout triangle consolidation was. And again, that weekly, the 10 days, the range started at 480, about 484. So if price wants a spike down here, possibly could, just back testing. And then we're looking for higher prices being 504 and about 512. SMH, this is what I was not expecting, was the leadership to the downside. Rejected off of this, even though we had a close just above into this megaphone. Now we're rejecting pretty hard off of there. So we'll see if this low holds. This would be maybe, like I said, one or an A, B, C into a larger A, pulling back for a B. Maybe this low holds and we get a C. Okay, and the C, if we're weaker in SMH, doesn't have to be a devastating move to the upside. but it should give us some relief for the rest of the market. And so you should see maybe a ending diagonal for the 5-wave move. IWM here holding up relatively stronger. It looked weaker on the way up, but just holding up fairly well here. Again, it looks the same, holding on to those moving averages. This is holding on to the 5. I'll put it on here. So it looks like everything else except for SMH is holding on to that 8 EMA and the 20 moving average. So just, it's holding up strong. DIA, we talked about it being a counterbalance type play here, and it held up the market today while tech was weak, and I think that will start to change back into tomorrow, the rotation, where this might be a little bit weaker, not moving anywhere, but tech begins to take over for the market to the upside. Here's the VIX. Now we just have to worry about the only thing that we're worried about here on the daily time frame for calls is this 19. Okay, we'll be back testing in the 19 area. If we reject off of it, clearly we're going higher, and then we'll see. I'll show you the rest on the 65, but I think this resolves a little bit lower to the 16-15 area. Okay, let's go to the 65. And thanks for those super thanks that I got from, I believe from Europe. A couple of those from Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're in pounds. So thanks again for the super thanks on YouTube. Okay, bullish falling wedge here, broke out from it. In a bear point of view, we're in a bear flag. Okay, so this could be ABC, and we're done, right? Devastating move to the downside. Right now, we're just holding that gap, the gap up. And now that we can see a little bit more structure, I'll show you on the other look there. But it's really just a breakout from the downtrend, and we're forming a higher low at this point, and we're just testing the breakout area. All right, this was very important. The reason why the market gapped up so far, it's so much easier for the market to gap over important resistance. All right, so it's now becoming support. So changing over to the board here, this was the bull bear line, the 382. I want to leave that in there. It's 568.70, and that said, that this was a wave 4 if we broke down from here and continued lower. Broke above it. We're holding above it. We got our highs in these retracements here, so I'll take those off. Clear this up a bit. All right, we're looking for this cluster here out at the end of March. So whether it's higher or lower, we're looking for this cluster, time and price. Now here's the ABC. So I can see at this point, now that we have our new information, I think this is a flat pattern, an ABC right here, first of all. So I'm counting this as a 5-wave move. So that again says this can be a 5, 3, 5, and this can be done. Or just like when we're looking at any bottom or at any top, is this going to be an extension? So now this can be a 5-wave and done, and the C wave is here. Or we're getting a 1, 2, and we continue with 3, 4, and 5 to the upside, where C is extended. Okay, and then again, if this is more complex and it's going to take a lot more time off the clock, this could be your A, with this being a larger degree A, get a deeper retracement for a B, and then you get our C later here after we form more structure, take more time, continue to the upside. Okay, look at our indicators. OptionsTender set up. Okay, taking a look at our pullback here, we're also holding the 20 moving average on the 65 minute. But looking at our indicators, the MACD, will this hold? We talked about this yesterday. We talked about starting a trend up higher. Are we just making a higher low? Now we have to curl back up and prove that this is going to go higher. And then we'll be looking for divergences as well as this goes higher. But we're well into bull territory. We'll see if this trend line holds. We'll go from there. All right, RSI, not quite to the oversold area. Maybe we go just a little bit lower, but just pulling back. Looks like it just reset, and then we can go oscillate higher. All right, it's a good reset. We made new highs, so there's no negative divergence or anything here. And unfortunately, we're looking for that trend to hold, but that's why we're doing this every day, is to see how all of this unfolds. And we'll see. We oscillated all the way down to oversold already. Such a shallow pullback, yet we're already in the oversold area for the slow stoke. So let's see where we go from here. Start to curl, get a buy signal, and continue moving higher. Again, we have GDP before the market opens. So be careful with your positions. If you're on the short side, make sure you protect your positions to the upper side. DMARC. DMARC got our exhaustion sell signal. Now we're retracing back here. Do we get a 9 count before reversing? We'll keep an eye on that. Awesome oscillator. Still well into bullish territory, starting to break down a little bit. But no divergences, nothing that tells us this move is over after making a new high. All right, and Bollinger Band. Again, we are in that oversold area. We're at the 27. So this might be my more sensitive setting here, 570.30. So I'll check the other one. 570.30. And this is 6 day, 70.30. And the reason why I did the 5 days, because there's 5 days in a week. So to me, that made more sense. And I changed that to be more sensitive to the week instead of 6 days. Okay. So this, I want to change on my OptionsTender setup as well. I'll do that today. All right. And so they match. Okay, in the Bollinger Bands, we just came back to the midpoint. That's very natural. Just like our downtrend, always coming back to the midpoint and then broke down. All right, and that's the 20 moving average. Let's go around the board here. QQQ. QQQ is clearly not a bear flag, not in the same fashion as it was, so you can move those over and sure, you got the same thing, same look there. So rejecting off here, and I think with a catalyst we continue higher. We have that gap, we gapped above, we're entering back in there, and we had an island gap here, so that's what we just closed today. So we no longer have an island gap, but we still have this gap open here. All right, so I do think this move is just about done, but we have the breakout point here at 484. SMH. Okay, SMH had a flag breakdown that's negative, but we're just back testing so far. We still have a higher low here, so weaker, clearly. So if this is to act like the rest of the market, and we have this downtrend line up here, then I think this is going to be a little bit more crossing, like an ending diagonal. Very deep wave 2. So if this low holds, we don't cross, not by a penny underneath it. Otherwise, we have something else I have to count it as. But right now, still an A, B, and then C wave, with this being a 1, a very deep 2 retracement. 3, 4, and 5, maybe even 4 and 1 crossover for an ending diagonal into resistance here. But I still think we test up top. I don't have anything that says otherwise. And that would be around 240, the lower 240 area. IWM, same look here. Let's see if this flag holds. We have the gap area, not quite closed yet. Gap goes further. I don't like to usually close them until I see the full thing gap lower. They close all the way. So again, I'm looking for a tag up here. Maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I suspect DIA looked like it was going to break out, and it's starting to break down from there. Maybe we hold on to that and continue higher, but again, I think this move, I don't think we're going to move very hard with the diamonds while tech starts to rotate and take over for the next move up. And finally, the VIX. Okay, on the 65-minute, you see that we're getting closer to, see this channel that have drawn out so far. Now, if price is going to move much higher in the market, we'll probably break down from this channel. But we'll keep an eye on, if we're at the 50% retracement, you know, that's a good time to put on some protection. I'm basically looking for two things. This channel to either break out, this wedge, bullish falling wedge to break out for caution, and it's testing it right now. And don't get me wrong, this thing could form, it can form a channel too. All right, so this could go up, test the 19 area, and we'd, you know, make sure that there wasn't a, then we'll have, you know, this as a channel just in case. But if we continue over 19, then that's not going to be the same. So right now we're just testing. We'll see if we hold on to here, and then we'll look for some new lows, and then we'll be looking for positive divergence as well in this. So just keeping a look, keeping an eye on the VIX. We talked about it bouncing here. I think it's going to go lower at this point. And I think that's about it. All right, let me get this video out to you. Good luck trading. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for all of the support, you guys. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.